Good evening, everyone. How are you? I was just enjoying Lewis's act before me, and I was still backstage thinking, which one out of the two of us looks more like Ryan Gosling? I think you'll both agree. I look more like Charlie Hunnam, right? Yeah. I get recognized all the time. It's so frustrating. My name is Sam Cole. I want to tell you a few stories about my dating life, and hopefully you'll find it as funny as I have. When I was 19 years old, I fell in love with this beautiful Australian girl called Kylie Troy. Hot name, right? Well, Kylie gave me a very good piece of advice on our first date, and she said, Sam, you know what your problem is? We hadn't even ordered yet, and already she was going through a list. She had something prepared, very kind of her. Australians can be so charmless. But she said, Sam, you know what your problem is? You're too much of a gentleman. But it's okay, being a gentleman is fine, but you need to be a gentleman with an edge. So now, whenever I go on a first date, I bring a knife. Edgy, right? No, I'm just kidding. I actually got my nipple pierced. I can't grow a beard, so I thought that was the next best option. But I've taken her advice very seriously, and ever since then, I always make a very conscious effort when I go on a date to not be entirely myself, to not be too much of the gentleman, and try to be a bit more of the edgy bad boy that all women really want. So I was... The problem is, I actually have a lot of difficulty doing that. You know, I often pick the most disadvantageous moments whilst I'm at dinner with a girl to really showcase my bad boy edge. And a couple months ago, I was on a date with a lovely girl, and it was in March, and she was full of cold, and she was coughing and sneezing. And the gentleman in me thought to myself, oh, Sam, her napkin's dirty. Why don't you just give her yours, and you can get a new one from the waitress, no big deal. But the bad boy in me said, no. Now is your time to be a dick. So I just looked across the table at her and went, oh, don't have a very good immune system there, do you? I think you need some more vitamin me. Don't hate the player, hate the game. No, but these things happen. Staying positive, moving on. The thing is, I found it more and more difficult because I've given my inner bad boy a voice, and this voice is getting louder and louder with every date that I go on, to the point where I'm worried it's gone too far, like Daniel Day-Lewis far. And I was on a date last week with a primary school teacher, poor girl, and she had come straight from work, and she teaches 5-year-olds, so she was talking to me like a 5-year-old. And she was using hand gestures to kind of describe everything that she had done and all the stories that she was telling. And, fair play to her, she noticed it and said, okay, I'm sorry for doing it again. And then 1 minute later, she'd carry on doing it. So I just got fed up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be a dick. And I said to her, you know what? Just stop. Firstly, you've had a piece of spinach in your teeth for the past 10 minutes. Disgusting. Secondly, you told me you love sushi. No one who loves sushi comes to a sushi restaurant and asks for a fork. Thirdly, Edward the Emu is not the greatest children's book of all time, no matter what you think. Where the Wild Things Are, anything by Roald Dahl. The Hungry Caterpillar, hello. Fourthly, and finally, I really don't care that after tonight, you're going to be driving home back to your house where you live with your fucking parents, okay? Grow up, get a house, rent. We all live in the real world here, okay? But, honestly, guys, I paid the bill. I'm not a total arsehole. But there is always one side of me. There's always one tiny, tiny part of me that will always be the gentleman. No matter how many dates I go on, I will always be the gentleman. And I hate apps. So a lot of my best friends set me up on dates with their friends, which means it's a lot of added pressure on me. Because when I'm on a date with a girl, it's a friend of my friend. So I always have to do the courteous thing and take her home afterwards and eat her pussy. Now, this is very important because the gentlemen among us know that we have to identify as a gentleman, we have to take part in these selfless acts. Now, the bad boys in the audience aren't very good at this. Because you just go for the whole nonchalant, non-committal, PG-rated cat with a warm bowl of milk kind of licking. Is that good for you, baby? Did you come yet? Baby, don't put your hand on my head. I'm doing it, okay? Chill. Okay, my turn. No. The gentleman here, we go the whole hog. We take the approach of a starving, dying man stranded on a desert island, famine dripping from his eyes. He musters the energy to build a raft, and he sails out to sea for days and days, close to death. By some miracle, he's picked up by a passing container ship. They take him in, they give him blankets, they give him a cold drink, they say, you hero, you gentleman. The captain takes him straight down to the kitchen, and there's a beautiful buffet, and through the tears of hunger and happiness, he spots in the corner of the room a pussy. It's that kind of eating. It's feral. It's unhinged. It's the gentleman in me. I like to think that somewhere in Australia, Kylie Troy is kicking herself. Thank you very much.